Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Sorriso channel, of course. I keep forgetting the name, fuck me, I'm a horrible channel owner, honestly. Today is a bit different. You're introduced to my home. Welcome. I'm joined today by me, myself, and I, camera crew, and the voices in my head. What? So today we're going to be starting off with, essentially, well, let me explain to you why you're here. You're in my home today because I'm going to be showing you guys that you can cook some really nice shit in your yard, right? Without thinking you need a thermo mixer, stand mixer, anything like that. You don't need none of that shit. You just need a good old muscle. All of the dishes that I'm going to be showing you today are going to be for the pop-up, so stay tuned for that. More information will come out for that, of course. But for now, I'm just going to show you the goods. You might learn something as you go along, but I'm not going to give you all the secrets because you just have to come and eat it yourself. So, the first dish that I'm going to be showing everyone is the amazing Scotch eggs. So the way you prepare this is really not that difficult. People assume a Scotch egg is really difficult just because of its shape, the way it's fried and all of that stuff. It's really not. Essentially, you boil it, what I've done beforehand, obviously, because if I didn't do that, we would be here all day. So you boil an egg for 4 to 6 minutes, I would say. I usually do 6 personally, depends how runny you want your egg. But yeah, put it in an ice bath straight away to shock it so it doesn't cook anymore while it's out of the water. That's important. You gotta make sure you shock it with ice cold water. Then you wrap this up in said meat. You take the meat out of the sausage casing, or usually you can go to a butcher's, they might already take it out for you. If you just ask them nicely, you know, maybe go on your hands and knees and be like, hey, please, can you take it out? If not, I will die. So you flatten out your sausage meat onto a nice piece of cling film, wrap it around your egg as so, tie it up at the end like this, and just leave it for a bit in the fridge. Let it form nicely. And now essentially what we're going to do is bread it. The difference is with this Scotch egg, what I'm going to do, I'm breading it in panko breadcrumbs, which is made from Japanese milk bread. And the people who know and fuck with Japanese breadcrumbs, they'll know that it's mainly used for like katsu, stuff like this. And I decided to use it for my Scotch egg. Important, when you're breading something, when they say to put in the flour first and then the egg, they're not kidding. I know it looks weird, but just do it. So what we're gonna do now is just gonna get the Scotch egg, as you can see, our little baby. We're gonna put him into our flour, roll it around. Now, first, most important rule, right, with frying is that you use 2 hands, one for the wet shit, one for the dry shit. I'm pretty sure like Neanderthals were doing it as well when they created fire. So then we're gonna put it in the egg. As you can see, I'm not letting my hand touch the egg, one hand. So now I'm using the other hand to get the wetness. And yes, guys, you can do this with a spoon if you really are a bitch. So then we put it into panko, and this is the part where it changes up a little bit here, because this is not usually what people do, but this is what I do because I've done it one time and I was like, oh, that actually worked. I like to double coat my shit because why not? I'm gonna put it back in the egg and then back in the breadcrumbs to get more crispy. So boom, quickly, not too long though, you don't want it to be too mad. Boom, boom, just roll that around a little bit. You know what I mean? Get it nice and smothered. Boom, like that. You know, cooking doesn't have to be so stressful, like in a restaurant. That's different. But when you're at home, just remember, when you're cooking for yourself, there is no time limit. You've got all the time in the world. You know what? You're craving a smash burger? Make it yourself. Don't go spend £12. You could spend less money making a smash burger at home than going out to one of them trendy smash burger places. So essentially you want something like this, a nice little baby, right, of crumbs and panko, and yeah. So now we're gonna go fry this bad boy. There you go. Right, here we have our piri-piri sauce for said Scotch egg. Now what we're gonna do with this sauce, right, is we're gonna reduce it until it gets nice and sticky and glazy. just like those sauces that you find on the katsu sometimes. It's gonna be amazing. So the way you make this now is honestly pretty simple. So peri-peri sauce, essentially what you do, you sweat down in a pot, a bunch of onions and a bunch of garlic. It will have your house smelling lovely, so no complaints with that. Sweat that down until transparent, until it starts smelling nice. You know, you kind of just know with these things until your ancestors tell you to stop, that sort of thing. So you sweat those down and essentially you mix it with a bunch of different spices. I'm not going to tell you my ones, but you want a nice balance. The main one always is a sort of chili powder. You can use any sort of chili powder that you want. You kind of just want to dress it over the onions and the garlic. It's just for it to soak up all of that shit at the bottom of the pan. You don't want to throw that away, that's actually good shit. And essentially what you want to do is deglaze that pan with beer, red wine, any sort of alcohol. You can even use vinegar if you don't have alcohol, because that deglazes just fine. For this bad boy though, we used white wine, just normal white wine, just to show that you guys can do it yourself, really. So you want to deglaze that, get all that shit from the bottom of the pan. You want to reduce the alcohol a bit, so you don't get drunk while you eat your peri-peri sauce. And then you're going to add your stock. You can choose whatever the stock you want. So technically this is vegetarian as well, if you want to use veggie stock as well. Then peri-peri sauce, you can use, I used beef stock for this one. And then essentially what you want to do is you want to keep cooking it, let the flavors meld together, don't be a bitch, just let them marry each other and just just let them kerfunkle together inside the pot. I also add a bay leaf and a lemon peels, which is what they traditionally do in Portugal. They don't actually add lemon, just lemon peels. And you're gonna let that cook for a good 10-20 minutes. And then that's what you get from this, essentially. What we're gonna do with it today is reduce it down into a nice sticky sauce that we're gonna go on top of our Scotch egg. And I can't wait to show you that. And let's go. We're here in the kitchen now, where I belong. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna fry this little beauty that we put. I let it rest in the breadcrumbs because it can always soak up more breadcrumbs at 170 degrees if you really give a shit about temperature. Most importantly though, we're gonna fry it for at least 7 to 8 minutes. I fry it for 8 minutes just so I can make sure it's cooked. And then you want to check the temperature inside for 145, so you know that the sausage meat is cooked. But we're going to pop this in the bad boy now, right? Look at him. He's dripping, like me on a Tuesday night. Then we're going to lower that in. And voila! It's really that easy. You just lower it in, let it fry for 8 minutes, you're back. And then now, here we have the peri-peri sauce that I showed you earlier. We put a little bit of that in here, and we're essentially just gonna cook it down, let it reduce until it becomes nice and sticky. Nice and sticky, just the way I like it. Let that cook, it's gonna reduce down. Yeah, I'll come back to you when it's all done to show you the finished product. So you see that cooking up now, it's gonna bubble up. That's what you gotta do, just let it cook, reduce, and you'll be fine. Oh, that's coming down, that's reducing nicely. You hear that? You wanna keep rotating it so everything's cooked evenly. This sauce is reducing quite nicely. As you can see, it's already kind of gone halfway than it was already. It's starting to look a little bit glossy, almost. So, that's kind of what you want. This is not exactly there just yet. By the time we finish that though, it'll be done for sure. Yeah, that's coming down nicely. So we're gonna let that cook. We're gonna lift our little baby out from a little basket. Oh, look at him. Oh my goodness, he looks beautiful. We're gonna get another plate now. Because always use 2 plates for plating, because you don't want the shit that you plate with on the actual plate. You just want to put it on the plate when it's done. So we're going to move this bad boy, like so. Pop. Boom. And look at this baby. Cute, no? In all its fine katsu glory. in that nice fluffy little breadcrumb. You can also kind of tell when your sauce is reducing well, when you see like all of these little bubbles. That just means it's evaporating. I want it a bit more thicker than this. So we're gonna keep it on for longer. You can just keep it on for as long as you want it for, whatever sauce you're making, if it's dressing, whether it's a marinade or whatever. It's your choice. You do it. You know, it's really that easy. Alright, we'll let that reduce. It's gonna take another 30 seconds, I reckon. Starting to get nice and gooey. And there we go, done. See how I just left it, didn't touch it, don't bother it? It's done. That's one thing that people do when they're cooking way too much. Don't be a menace to yourself, fam. Just leave it. It's not that hard. The sauce is now nice and reduced. It's like reduced at least by fucking more than half. I'm just gonna go a bit more because I want it a bit more stickier than my... Okay, I'm not finishing that sentence. So essentially what you're doing is just reducing it until the consistency that you really want it at. So give it a little mix. It's nice and sticky now. We're gonna pour it over our little Eggo. Right, we're gonna get this. I'm just gonna pour it slowly over. We're gonna get that glazed. And then we're just gonna cover it with nice little chivies, like that. Voila. Peri peri scotch egg. And now, the best part. You ready? The reveal. Corte caralho. Oh, just what you need, man, honestly. A beautiful, wondrous dish. It's gonna be very yummy. So, we have the first dish here, which is one of my favorites, but also the dish that I think represents me better. Obviously you got the Latin influence from the spicy chipolata meat that we use for the sausage. And then obviously we got the Scotch egg itself, British, using that influence from both sides, and you know, the peri peri sauce as well from Portugal. And then lastly but not least, the panko, which I don't have any Japanese influence in my family, but this dish perfectly encompasses that in my opinion. So yes, we gotta give it a try now for sure. Sure. Alright, get all that goodness in there. Alright, then oh yeah. It's really easy to make. Even if you want to make a normal Scotch egg, just do what I done, but use the normal ingredients. So easy, so simple, just to have in your yard. Delicious, you can have it anytime. Perfect. Oh. So, next dish is gonna be our, well, if anyone knows from the first pop-up actually, we had a dish very similar to this. It was padron peppers with some manchego cheese and grape jam, but I've pizzazzed it up a bit. We have our padron peppers here, which I prepped earlier, and they are completely stuffed with brie cheese. Oh, we love brie cheese, anything cheese. So essentially what we're gonna do now is we're gonna make a beer batter for them. Very quick and easy, again. You can do this by eye even, you don't even need measurements really. First thing you need, beer. We're using Cruz Campo beer, Spanish beer for Spanish dish, makes sense. So self-raising flour, it goes into a bowl. You wanna get just like a decent amount. So as you can see, there's the flour on here. And then we're gonna add our beer. Now, I wouldn't recommend prepping this ahead of time. If you prep it ahead of time, it can go bad. So, what you're looking for while you mix it is, I'm not sure if anyone's ever had a corn dog before, but you kind of want to batter like that. a bit like a corn dog batter. So right now this is way too loose. So we're just gonna keep mixing, keep mixing, keep mixing, keep mixing. Here we go. So this is a little bit more of the consistency that you're looking for. The way it coats around your spoon is the way it's gonna coat around the padron peppers. So you kind of want it to be fully coated. And that's essentially how you make beer batter. 2 ingredients, beer and flour. And right there, nice and, oh yes. It just drips down. Oh, lovely. And then next we have these beautiful sable grapes that we caramelized earlier. As you can see, look at those. So they're gonna taste really nice with that brie cheese and the padron peppers together. So now, let's go to frying. We've got our beautiful padron peppers here, as you can see, stuffed with brie cheese. Now what we're gonna do, you're gonna make sure your oil's hot. You don't wanna give it into cold, because then the batter's just not gonna cook and it ain't gonna be right. It needs to be hot oil, instantly hot, right? So here I have a beer batter here. As you can see, it's nice and jiggly. That's the only way I can describe it, nice and jiggly. Then we're gonna dip this in. As you can see, it should coat the whole of the pepper, right? Then you wanna drip off the excess, 1, 2, 3. All right, and you wanna do this as many as you can be bothered for. I'm gonna do 4 exactly. We're gonna let those bad boys fry with my chopsticks. You wanna try and move them around a bit so they don't get stuck to each other. Now bear in mind, guys, there is cheese in this. If the oil explodes, it's okay. It's normal because cheese, right? So I'll move these bad boys around. If they stick together, that's cool. That's cool too, because they're all for the same plate anyway. So this usually takes, I would say 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes max, depending on how hot your oil is. But once they start getting like golden brown, or when you poke it with your chopstick and it's like really hard already, you're good. You don't want to fry it for too long because of that cheese, but until you start seeing that cheese starting to leak out a bit. Like I'm starting to see it leak out a bit, so that's when I know it's done. And you just take it out, boom. Sorted. Look at that beauty. Slowly, we'll start placing our beautiful caramelized grapes all over. If that some of the syrup goes on it, that's completely fine too, because boy, we like color on the plate, don't we? Yeah, and voila. We have our beer battered padron peppers with caramelized grapes. Let's go try. This is the padron pepper dish. Now, a lot of people, if they came to the first one, the first pop-up, you'll know that there was a dish similar to this, which was the padron peppers, grape jam, and Cheddar cheese. This is what I like to say is just an upgraded version of it. It just looks fantastic. The beer batter makes it crunchy. The freshness and the spiciness on the padron peppers as well is just amazing. And then the sweetness that comes through the caramelized grapes. It's just as good as flavor combinations go, in my opinion. So let's give it a try. So I would say the best way to eat is use your hand. Don't be a weirdo, man. Get some of that caramelized grape on there, and then take a big chunk. I mean, you can't go wrong with like something deep fried in beer batter, cheese, and then some grapes on top, man. And then, this is one of the dishes you'll be able to see, completely vegetarian, so the veggies can enjoy as well. Super flavorful, good flavor combination, Pairs great with some wine as well. Beautiful red, I would say, would be amazing with this. And yeah, can't wait for you guys to try it. It's gonna be it's one of my favorite dishes. It means a lot close to my heart because it was one of the first ones I ever came up with, especially the combination of flavors. And yeah, it's just delicious, amazing. And now we're coming to the final dish of the episode, which is quite poetic because it's dessert. I'm not usually one for desserts, I'll be honest. It's not my strongest suit, but recently I've been delving a lot into desserts and I've made my own eclairs. Now, if people know what eclairs are, I'm sure you've known if you grew up in the UK. Essentially, it's a choux mix of choux pastry of some kind. And the way you make the dough is actually also pretty easy. It takes me like 10 minutes, even like 10 minutes. It's equal parts milk with water. And then essentially what you do is you add in your butter, salt, sugar, that all boils together in one place. And then you add in your flour, mix the dough, mix the dough, mix the dough until it becomes almost like an actual dough and it doesn't stick to the sides. You want to cook it out, dry it out a bit. And then the most important part, take it out, let it cool down, right? And then you want to mix in your eggs one by one. You've got 4 eggs. You want to mix it one by one. A lot of people do the same mistake again and again where they do all the eggs at the same time. That won't work. You have to mix it in as if you're mixing a sauce of some kind. And you don't want it to split. So essentially, you're gonna keep mixing the eggs one by one, and then essentially you'll get like a pipeable mix. You want to put it in a piping bag. You're gonna put it in the oven for 200 degrees, right? Without opening the oven for 20 minutes. If you open the oven, the whole thing fucks up. You don't want to open the oven at all. Those little bad boys are gonna puff up like my dildo. So they're gonna puff up, and then they're gonna just be. Let me show you actually. So we already had some prepared because it's quite. You actually want to make it a day before because if you make it the day of, they're gonna be too hard once you take it out of the oven. And these are the bad boys. They've already been coated with the coatings on top that I've chosen. So we have our normal eclair with chocolate, which is what you usually see right here. And then we have an eclair with caramel on top, but hardened caramel because I thought it would be pretty nice. So we're gonna try that. And then we have some banana cream here that I made also, which is delicious. Just I could eat like gallons of this, it's insane. Essentially the way we do that is, pause, because I forgot I forgot my fork, 1 second. And then, okay. So, now we're gonna fill it with our banana cream as all eclairs are done. So you essentially wanna get your eclair bun, and underneath, you wanna poke a little hole. Shoop. You see? I like to do 2 holes because sometimes they won't get all the way in the crevices. You know, so you wanna poke 2 holes just on like each side really. And inside you'll see that it's also like it's hollow. It's meant to be quite hollow inside. We're gonna get our piping bag. And then we're gonna start filling this bad boy. Huh. Kinda looks like something I'd done last week. But that's a story for another day. So we're gonna fill this bad boy all the way up. See that? Oh yeah, look at it. Then you wanna get that second hole open so we can get all the crevices. Like so. Now, with these eclairs, we're just gonna finish it off with some beautiful icing sugar on top for some presentation. Some of this. And slowly. Alright. And then here, we have our beautifully prepared eclairs. Só há mais uma coisa para fazer mais. E é só comer. Mais nada. Come e cala-te, como eles digam. Shut up and eat, as they say. I'm gonna try these bad boys. I've been waiting to try these for the longest since they were made. So let's get that. Ooh, see? Look at the way it just cracks open and full of cream. I stuffed it earlier. Me personally, yeah. So I'm gonna try the caramel one. That's troubling. Now let's try the chocolate one, which I think will pair nice with the banana cream, to be honest. But the caramel also done its bit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wondrous. That's like light, airy, fluffy. Those fluffy pancakes you see in Chinatown and takes you no longer than 45 minutes, I would say. That's including cooking time. So this should be easy for you guys to make. As you can see, guys, look at that. Just filled with cream. Oh, yeah. And that's the 3 dishes for today, guys. It's a pleasure to make them full. That's like one of my favorite things in the world, honestly. I like making food for people. It's lovely to have the camera crew here as well to try the food. It's obviously amazing. This was the first episode of showing you guys the dishes that I plan to do for the pop-up. Everything I've created from my own kitchen and from my own mind, so hopefully you guys enjoy it the next time you try it as well. Feel free to leave down in the comments below your favorite home dishes. Who knows? I might try them, gain some little inspiration from them, and I might even shout you out in the next video and be like, hey, this guy gave me this idea, he's the G. Or this girl gave me this idea, she's the boss. Something like that. So feel free to leave it down. I'll definitely be reading them for sure. But yeah, thank you for coming, trying the dishes. This is the first episode of showing you off my dishes, so I can't wait for you to see much more coming soon. And peace. See you guys. Smile more.